What's up, guys? This is Jaden,
And Dylan.
and today we're going to bring a top 10 favorite zombies maps video. Okay, so it might seem like we're giving you instructions on how to do these maps, but we're actually going to talk about how we like these maps, so please don't get butthurt or whatever.
Alright, so how this is going to work is we're going to go worst to best in order. And this is maps that me and Jaden have talked about for a while. So,
Please
Don't
keep
get
in mind, it's our opinion.
yeah, don't be getting butthurt. It's like, come on, we're all in the same boat, so don't be flipping out on us.
So coming in at number 10 is Gorod Krovi.
Oh yeah.
Gorod Krovi is my second favorite BO3 map.
So where this map is going to be set is Stalingrad, Russia. And honestly, I think this map has a really good flow to it for the most part, out of the new ones in Black Ops 3.
And really, the coolest thing about this map is that you can ride the dragon to Pack-a-Punch. And I mean, who doesn't want to ride a dragon, right?
And while we're talking about a dragon, it's really cool that you can ride it to Pack-a-Punch, and one of my favorite things of this map. But the most pain in the ass thing is whenever you're on a level of the map and it decides to fucking burn you to a crisp.
It is a decent sized map with a few layers.
One of the other interesting things about this map is to Pack-a-Punch, you're going to need to turn the power on. And then you'll continue to kill zombies, and you'll eventually get code cylinders. And you're going to need 3 of those, which you'll take to different locations to activate Pack-a-Punch, where you can finally call a dragon to take you to Pack-a-Punch.
And facing the dragon in the boss fight is pretty badass.
Honestly, out of this and Shadows, I think this is one of my favorite DLC zombies maps from Black Ops 3. Whenever I first saw the trailer for it and everything, I was like, okay, it looks pretty solid. I like that it's, in Russia. It's really cool themed. I think it's the detail in this map that really, kind of impressed me with it.
Okay, so that pretty much wraps it up for our number 10.
All right, now we're going to move on to number 9, Transit. So believe it or not, this is actually the map that started zombies for me. I played Black Ops 1 Zombies. I loved Black Ops 1 Zombies. But Transit was just something special for me, man. I don't know. I think it had like all these conspiracies about how you can get to, the air quote second road or second route the bus could take, and having the bus like take you certain ways or whatever. I thought that was really interesting to me, and who knows, man? Like, if this map came out on PS5 now, like, it'd be crazy to see what they could do with it.
So Transit is a very interesting map to talk about. It was definitely a map that everyone hated at the beginning, but as time went on, we learned to enjoy what this map gave us. Not the best map ever, but it is always fun to play with friends.
And as he was saying, playing with your friends on this map, I think the funniest shit to do whenever you're playing with your friends is piss off Ted or the bus driver and having them get kicked out of the bus in the middle of the fucking while you're driving to somewhere. It's so hilarious to do that to your friends, to troll them.
And riding around in the bus with your friends just brings so much nostalgia, like back in the old days.
So, what happens when you get your friends kicked out of the bus or you decide to run into the fog areas? Well, there's these lovely little creatures called denizens, and they love to jump on your face and scratch the fuck out of you. So whenever that happens, you pretty much have to just mutilate the shit out of them. And I'm pretty sure somebody out there has probably broke their controller trying to knife them. Overall, though, I think this map is... I think it was really cool for what it was, though. Like, you have, the few different stops that you have on the bus, and you can get off at certain places, and there's a few secret places, like Knack and the cabin that's in the like woods. I just think that makes it really, really crazy, and honestly, I hope they make another map like this, or they, remaster it in new Cold War, but, we'll have to see.
And to add one thing about this map that I really dislike, like really don't like about this map, is that there is no guns in town. Well, once you're stopping by town to get a perk or something, I mean, there's no guns around there, so like, you're fucked if you don't have bullets.
So overall, this is honestly, I think, is a really good map. I I do like this map a lot, and I think everything about it, the Electric Man, whatever the fuck he's called, I can't remember, but it just has a pretty look to it. I just like the whole concept of it, and hopefully we'll get a remaster of it. Hopefully. But that wraps it up for this. Moving on to our next map.
And coming in at number 8, 5.
All right, so now we're going to talk about 5, and I would have recorded this on the original 5, not the Black Ops 4 version, but I was having a problem with my Elgato, so you get the whole concept. We're just going to talk about the map in general. Honestly, I think this is a really cool map too. Playing as John F. Kennedy, I mean, that was just a badass part of it too. And it's kind of like conspiracy theories too. I like how this map flows as well.
5 is definitely one of the most unique maps ever, playing in the Pentagon, and it's a bigger map than it looks at the start. It has an elevator for transportation.
Actually, make that 2 elevators. You have one that goes into the subway as well.
There you go.
Also, don't forget, whenever you turn that power on, you get those teleporters, which you can't really pick where you go. I mean, you can, but you have to wait. So if you're in a pinch, you're kind of fucked. But, I mean, it makes it a little more useful to jump around the map so you don't get killed.
Also, one of my favorite things to always do in Black Ops 1. I will use the table glitch to get to high rounds, and nostalgia really comes into fruition with this ranking.
One thing I kind of wish was in this version, the Black Ops 4 version of 5, or classified, is I wish it had the scientist in it. I thought that was one of the funnest parts about 5, like playing it on the original Black Ops. Just, I don't know, it's like, because he'd always steal your gun and you'd be like, oh shit, I gotta stay away from him. And come to think about it, actually kind of reminds me of the witch from Buried, like how she'd steal your points. Instead, this motherfucker would steal your gun.
And that'll do it for 5. Now, coming in at number 7, Kino. So one really funny thing was I was pretty young when I played this map, so at first I thought this map was ugly. But of course I didn't know how to turn on the power or do anything really. And my opinion on this map changed, of course, as time went on. But what I really like about this map is that it isn't too big or too small.
To add to what he was saying, I think this map is a pretty good sized map, and it's nothing too crazy that you really have to worry about. You can pretty much just go for high rounds without worrying about Easter eggs or anything.
The theater is a great place to get to high rounds because of how much space you have, and definitely brings lots of nostalgia.
Alright, for your perks you have Juggernog, Speed, Double Tap, Quick Revive, and Mule Kick. You also have the Wonder Fizz if you're playing on the remastered version of this map, which is pretty handy.
And also you have the teleporter to teleport to Pack-a-Punch.
One of the cool things about teleporting, though, is after you pack a punch and you leave, sometimes you'll go to a mystery room, such as like Samantha's room or in 5. It's pretty cool where you can get the taste for the little Easter egg for this map. There's nothing really else to talk about on Kino. It's a pretty basic map, nostalgic, really fun map to play with friends,
And moving on to our number 6, Der Riese.
Alright, now we're going to talk about Der Riese, or the Giant, whatever you want to call it. It's pretty much the same thing. But the Giant is going to be the remastered version of it. And man, does it look night and day different.
Der Riese is a very beloved map from World at War and Black Ops 1.
This map is also like, how it's very basic. And you don't really need to do a lot. The Easter eggs, super simple. Honestly, whenever we did it, I was kind of like, that's it. Like, that's all you have to do. Another thing that's really nice about this map is you don't have to spend, so many points to open all the doors, because pretty much you can go one way to power and turn it on and then go from there to get your perks, really. You might have to open a few doors, but other than that, it's pretty simple.
So yeah, basically another classic that is really fun to play with friends, not too hard, and also has an extremely good camping spot that you can go to very high rounds with.
Alright, that's going to wrap it up for this one. Moving on to our next one. Number 5, Moon.
So Moon is honestly badass. Like, playing on the Moon, I mean, who doesn't want to play on the moon, right?
There's going to be a lot to this map, honestly. We don't have time to talk about all of it, but one of the most unique things is like the PES, the excavators, starting at Area 51 before you teleport to the moon. And we can't forget the astronaut who always wants to grab you. Something else that's annoying about Moon is whenever you spawn, you're either going to get speed or jug. So let's say you go down and around and you can't remember what's at spawned, there's a 50-50 chance it's going to be either jug or speed. So if you go down and you need jug, you might get fucked and get speed instead.
Usually we like to get our guns and perks first, then we go and train at Biodome.
So one thing about Moon is you have Nova 6 crawlers, but they're not just, regular Nova 6 crawlers. These motherfuckers decide to teleport from around the corner and not kill you. They're super annoying to deal with. Anyways, that wraps it up for Moon as well. Overall, though, this map is a really fun one to play. It's really unique and has a really cool style to it.
Now on to number 4, Shadows of Evil. Shadows of Evil, in my opinion, is the best zombies map on BO3.
Whenever I sit down to make this video with Jaden, it kind of reminds me of Mob of the Dead in order of how you have to turn things on. Like there's no main power switch, and I think that's one of the reasons it made it really close in our list.
The rituals add a unique replayability factor, and finishing them leads to Pack-a-Punch and is extremely rewarding.
Also, this map was the first map on the next-gen consoles at the time, and I thought it looked really good for what it was, with the rain effect. The music was perfectly themed on this map too. Just the whole atmosphere of this map was on point.
And Morgue City is absolutely beautiful.
The Margwa is a really unique type of boss that isn't hard to defeat as long as you keep a good distance from it. But just make sure you don't corner trap yourself.
Or else he'll slam your ass real good.
Let's talk about the parasites too. These are kind of like flying insects that are really annoying that shoot an acid type of liquid at you.
And please make sure your aim is good because you're gonna get fucked.
Alright, that wraps it up for Shadows of Evil. Now we're moving on to our third favorite, Mob of the Dead.
Mob of the Dead is a unique and visual setting at a prison in Alcatraz.
First off, I want to start off with this map just throws out creepy vibes, like something horrible has happened here. One of the things I think so unique about this map is that you have to pretty much unlock everything, such as the tomahawk that you can get from the wolves. Also, you have to unlock Pack-a-Punch through the plane. I think it makes it more unique than like Kino to Toten or something like that, which is more basic.
There's more to this map than what meets the eye. It brings a feature called Afterlife. So instead of a main power switch, you have individual power meters that need to be shocked in order to activate them, such as doors, perks, and parts.
Brutus is one of the most badass bosses I think I've ever seen in a zombies map. You can tell whenever he's running by you from how the ground shakes. Also, he just looks like he's ready to kick your ass.
Okay, the Easter egg for Mob is also one of the greatest of all time, and also one of the easiest.
So basically, to do this Easter egg, you pretty much need to do the plane, like we were talking about earlier for Pack-a-Punch. You also need to get Hell's Retriever, and there's a few other steps that you need to do. But pretty much by upgrading your weapons and grabbing Hell's Retriever, you're pretty much already starting the Easter egg, which is why we think it makes it one of the most easiest to do among other maps.
So that pretty much sums up Mob. So coming in at number 2 is Origins, and I don't really need to say much about Origins because it's one of the best maps ever. And of course everyone knows that, but I think what doesn't make it my first is because of how tedious and difficult it is. There's the 4 staffs that take forever to put together. You also have to upgrade them too. You have to run around the map constantly while in the annoying ass mud. And last but not least, the Easter egg. Well, I mean, talking about the Easter egg could take like hours to do, but obviously everyone knows that it's one of the best Easter eggs of all time.
Alright, so I'm going to talk about Origins for a second. So for me, this map is really kind of love-hate. At times it can be really good, but whenever it's going really bad, it really starts to piss me off. The mud pisses me off, like Jada was talking about earlier. You constantly have to fucking run through it. God forbid there's a fucking fast zombie right behind you. He's literally gonna kill you, doesn't matter how fast you think you can run through it. And here's a little clip to demonstrate that.
No! Fuck! Ooh, that's so annoying. God, that fucking pisses me off.
I will not survive!
But other than raging on this map all the time, I do like the staffs and how it's laid out for the most part, and pretty much all the weapons that are in it. The robots add a unique twist to where you need to be at the right time, because if you're there at the wrong time, you can be dead.
Also, there's this one boss, aka asshole, that chases you around the map and making you waste all of your ammo on him unless you got a wonder weapon. He goes by the name of Panzer. But other than it being tedious, the positives outweigh the negatives on this map by a mile. And that'll do it for number 2, Origins, one of the greatest maps of all time. And coming in at number 1 is Buried.
Oh yeah, boy.
Buried is my favorite map mainly because of the setting and layout of the map. The setting is in an underground western town. And also, Treyarch brought us a non-playable friendly character called Leroy.
So basically what this guy is going to help you do is he's going to help you carry crawlers. He'll also help you break barriers down. Let's say you want the mystery box in a certain location. He can do that for you as well. He's got a lot of hidden little secrets that you probably don't know.
The chalk feature in Buried is really unique and gives the player a choice of where they want to put their favorite weapons. And depending on which gun, it could give you 1,000 to 2,000 points. And the Witch. Woo! The Witch. Don't even get me started on the Witch. The Witch is definitely the most unique about Buried. It is really creepy to go through her house.
Alright, so when you're going through the witch's house, you have to watch every corner as she will pop out of pretty much nowhere. She comes from behind a bookcase. She'll pop out from behind the corner as you see right there. So if you keep on killing this witch, at the very end you'll finally get your last bird. Just make sure she doesn't touch you, because if she does, she's going to take your points away from you.
And also, the maze is a really cool and unique feature that you have to go through to get to Pack-a-Punch. The maze changes every time you go back through the teleporter and the witch's house. You definitely shouldn't go through it in high rounds because you're definitely going to get corner trapped.
Alright, that pretty much sums it up for Buried. Just overall, this map is really replayable. And that's one of the main reasons I like it a lot. And that pretty much wraps it up for Buried. And I'm just going to say this real quick on the end note. If they don't remaster this map, I am going to be pissed off at Treyarch.
Yeah, so Black Ops Cold War, we're putting our trust in you. Please, we're begging you.
To remaster this fucking map. Also,
Buried.
on a side note, like, hopefully you get that PS5, because, she
Had little
gone.
troubles pre-ordering that bitch.
She gone.
So guys, if you enjoyed the video, please smash the fuck out of that like button. And if you haven't already, subscribe if you're new.
Alright, we'll see you on our next video. We out!